Hello guys, what is going on? I am Nozda and welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. Now, just start off with, if you didn't see my last video, because if you only watch my Spider-Man comic reviews or just comic reviews in general, then you wouldn't have seen my last video probably because it was a Haikyuu, which is a manga video. I've changed my setup. So, yeah, just in case you didn't notice, I've changed it. So yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, it had a lot of surprises, it had a lot of meat to it. It was a very big issue. It was, I don't know how many pages it was. It feels like it was at least double the size of a regular issue. And it cost £5 instead of £3, so it makes sense to be around about double the size. And yeah, it was a mad one, right? Okay, so what? It's a basic issue 1. It tore down the character, like completely destroyed him. When you think one bad thing happened and you think it can't get any worse than this, something else happened. And then sort of the climax, I get chills thinking about it now, just the Aunt May stuff. Just like, you can't tell her, because then she'll know you're Spider-Man, obviously. Like, that's like the main sort of plot device with almost every single thing to do with Aunt May and Spider-Man. But it was very interesting to see what they could do next to destroy Peter Parker, because when I started reading issue 389, he was already pretty much, no, was it 389? No, not 389, sorry, 789, not 389. I was getting mixed up with Doctor Strange. When I started reading at 789, I thought, oh my god, he's been destroyed already, like completely destroyed. And it got to the point where I felt like so bad for Peter that I was struggling to enjoy the story. And then we get to this, where, like, sure, the Park industry stuff is behind him, but then none of the superheroes like him, and it's just mental, because we find out later that obviously this fight that's going on with, which turns out to be Mysterio, was actually going on after all the stuff came out about him in the news. Like, this fight was happening after the Aunt May stuff, and then afterwards he went back to Mary Jane, and they got back together. So that's just setting up like a nice, easy plot for the new writer, which is Nick Spencer. By the way, I'll talk about Nick Spencer in a minute. Which is sort of nice, easy, classic Spider-Man plot where he's trying to win back Aunt May's trust, and he's got Mary Jane for support, because he needs a supporting character right now. He has nobody. He doesn't have a single supporting character. His roommate is a bastard. Well, one of his roommates is a bastard. The other one's just, like, alright, but they're not really interesting characters. Not yet, anyway. So we need that sort of, like, tether to sort of tether Spider-Man down from being this, like, mystical, constantly hated person, because the story feels fantastical. How much he's being shot on right now by the universe. It made me think that like sort of like off the cuff joke about Wilson Fisk having the Infinity Stone was true. He was bending reality so much for Spider-Man to be hated so much. Speaking of that, actually, there was a really cool joke in there. I'm not sure. Oh, I actually found it straight away. I was worried I won't be able to find it, but I'm thinking about it now. Backing it now. It wasn't like a super mega cool joke, but it was just this panel down here when he saw Wilson Fisk, and he was like, "A key to the city that would open so many doors for me." It was so cool. It was just like that double meaning. It was a proper laugh out loud moment, like a proper laugh out loud moment. It was kind of insane, but this whole entire thing, I mean, we had a bunch of heroes, we had a bunch of villains as well. At least 4 I can think of off the top of my head that we saw, and I mean, like, on this one we only saw half the villains on this front page. And did we see any of the villains on this page? I don't think we saw any of the villains on this page either. So on the front and back we only actually saw 2 of the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 villains. Sorry, there's Venom down there. Yeah, so we only saw 2 of the however many I just said. I say 10, something like that. But I feel like this cover is just to, like, it's like a classic Spider-Man thing, just showing off all the villains, like all the villains that we're gonna see, all the villains that we're gonna love, hate, whatever. I did really like the Mysterio stuff. I think the Mysterio, I feel like most of the reason why Mysterio was in this comic was to do with Far From Home, which is Spider-Man 2, which is coming out next year, I believe, just after Avengers. So it'll be in July. July 2019 it's coming out. And Mysterio is going to be a villain in that. I'm not sure whether he's going to be the main villain, but he's definitely a villain. They've already got like a minor villain in Vulture coming back, so I assume he's going to be the main villain in that one. So I would feel like that's why they start this off with Mysterio, and Mysterio is going to continue in the plot later on because they're obviously whoever's I assume it's Wilson Fisk, but potentially not, who is sort of trying to get Mysterio out of jail right now is is going to use him later on. But my God, that scene, I was thinking, because this is a long book, and I was thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna get to the point. I was reading this for a good half an hour. It's gonna get to the point where people are gonna be posting their reviews all over the place, and I was gonna be like, it was gonna be semi pointless to actually post this review because everyone else is gonna have their reviews up. But as soon, I mean, I'll talk about this in this page for two reasons. But as soon as this started happening, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Who is this villain? I was like running through what I was going to talk about in the video, like, oh, I need some information about this guy, because I do like having discussions with you guys in the comments below. I get comments all the time now. It's actually really cool. Like, my comics are definitely my most engaging videos in terms of like the engagement from the audience and the comments. I get comments all the time. It's really great. I actually really appreciate it. But I just want to talk about the typography. It's not necessarily typography, because that is I mean, is it to do with the format as well? I'm not too sure of the terminology, but the fact that it's just so simple. The fact that they completely get rid of the spacing between the letters here, it's just because I've already got a really funny voice in my head for Mysterio, because I've never seen him in any other type of media before, like in cartoons or whatever. I know he hasn't been in any live action stuff, but he says, "Oh, gotta go out of here, gotta get out of there." You know, it's just very comedic for me, and I really like that. But just this hard cut, I don't know how this didn't spoil it for me, because sometimes I really hate it how something can get spoiled for you based off of the next page, and you say you just glance to it or something. But I was completely enthralled in this. Like, it was so intense. And the fact that he was slowly sinking into the ground, and you could tell he was slowly sinking into the ground, and they just hard cut back to him screaming no in the chorus. That was so well done, and it wouldn't have worked. Like I said, it wouldn't have worked. I would have got spoiled just from me glancing to the right hand side. If it weren't for being so immersive. But I was saying before that I was going to talk about Nick Spencer. Nick Spencer gets Spider-Man, I think. And he not only gets Spider-Man in the sense of how to write him, he gets Spider-Man in the sense of how to harm him as well. Because just Wilson Fisk talking about how... I mean, this is another reason why I thought he actually used an Infinity Stone, because as soon as he talked about him being isolated, like, everyone started shunning him. And, I mean, that was an obvious device, like, to say, this is what's happening. He's so alone right now. And by the end of the comic, you have hope that he's not going to be less alone, because, obviously, he saved everyone and stuff like that. Well, he didn't save everyone. He revealed that Mysterio was the culprit behind it. Which is so weird, actually. Just thinking about the power levels of people that are involved. We have to believe Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel and practical effects of whatever it was managed to be able to capture them all. That was very strange, thinking about it now. But yeah, just Wilson Fisk saying like, oh yeah, all these jokes, he's like constantly asking for approval. And I feel like that is Nick Spencer embodying Wilson Fisk and telling us as a reader, like, this is what Wilson Fisk and potentially other villains in this run are going to try and exploit from Spider-Man. This is going to be the main plot device, trying to make Spider-Man by himself. And I just thought about it now, it is sort of like anti-Dan Slott. And I was speaking to my brother about this. The sort of like the Spider Family and Team Spider-Man and stuff like that was something which he really didn't like. And when we go back and we actually look at the first few pages of this comic, the Human Torch, who was part of that family somewhat, like he helped out with Red Goblin stuff, he was one of the people to outright say, "I don't like you, Peter Parker, Spider-Man." And it might be sort of like a message to us saying, if you didn't like that Dan Slott stuff, don't worry, you're not getting any of it in this. You're getting the exact opposite. You're getting no family. It's just you and you alone. Like, even in his own house, even with his roommates, he feels he's angry, he's annoyed, and he's by himself. But at the end of it, he's got Mary Jane. He hasn't got a spider family. He's got his own family. So, I that's what I really liked about this issue in terms of writing as well. But yeah, I've talked for 10 minutes about this one. I always talk for a while when it comes to Spider-Man issues. Usually, we in like 800 and this one were like incredibly long, so that's why I probably have to talk about it for so long. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. So if you only watch for Spider-Man stuff and you've only just seen this setup, then make sure to comment down below whether you like it or not. I've got this weird tripod webcam setup. It's kind of strange. But yeah, so that's it for now, guys. I've only got a couple more issues to review. I've only got 3 more issues to review today. Maybe 2. No, I've only got 3 more issues to only 2 more issues to review today. It's a very short day, very quick day. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I have been Nozza, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye. I'm now going to stop the recording. This is a weird setup. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.